And it's time for another Macro Monday where I get you ready for the week ahead in 5 minutes or less. Just a reminder, as always, this is just a small snippet of our full Macro Monday newsletter. So if you're looking for more in-depth coverage on the week ahead, I highly suggest you check out the link I'm going to put in the description of this video. Okay, as always, we're going to start with our chart of the week. And the process of normalizing economic data post the government shutdown still continues this week. All eyes will be on the November payrolls that is dropping on Tuesday. Yes, the November payrolls was delayed until Tuesday. In recent months, several studies have highlighted a sharp decline in the break-even payroll rate. What is that? That is the number of jobs needed to keep the unemployment rate steady. The math behind this is not super simple, but most studies point to immigration policy as the key driver of this. At this stage, according to the St. Louis Fed, any monthly payroll gain above roughly 30K could now lower the unemployment rate. That's pretty wild. So don't be surprised if we see some unusual stats this week as we get more and more updates to the data. We're going to spend a lot of time on here because we got a lot of important series to cover. We're going to start with last week where the Fed delivered another 25 basis point rate cut, bringing total easing since 2024 to 175 basis points. What does this mean? Policymakers continue to frame labor market softening as a larger threat to economic stability than the above trend inflation that we're seeing right now. Powell did suggest that policy is now roughly neutral, so that points to a more patient and data-dependent posture heading into this week's release of the aforementioned November employment report. What is the Fed hoping? Well, they hope right now that this year's 75 basis points of easing helps arrest the deterioration in employment without reigniting inflation. Markets are currently pricing in a 77% probability of no rate change at the December 27th meeting. However, the market does expect one more cut, and you see that in the odds of an additional cut rising heading into March and April. Now to this week, Monday brings the Empire State Manufacturing Survey, one of the more bullish, although it is volatile, regional PMIs. For the 2026 outlook, the inflation path remains crucial, and Empire's prices paid component is still sitting at a post-tariff cyclical high. That's a signal worth watching as it suggests near-term upward pressure on CPI. We'll also be watching the regional employment components. Evidence remains limited, but there are early hints that labor conditions may be approaching a bottom. Also on Monday, you would get the NAHB housing index. We normally talk about this index a lot more. It's normally a really reliable leading indicator. But this cycle, it's been constrained by mortgage rates that remain 200 basis points above levels typically consistent with a recovery in purchase applications. Moving on to Tuesday, this has the main event. Again, it is the long-awaited November employment report. Consensus calls for a 50K payroll gain, and the unemployment rate is expected to tick up 10 basis points to 4.5%. But that estimate hinges heavily on assumptions around population growth, labor force participation, and participation trends. And we're also dealing with structural forces such as immigration, retirements, and disability-related exits, which could create a world where job growth is soft, but the unemployment rate stays sticky. And then finally, on Thursday, the last thing we're going to talk about today, brings November CPI. Headline inflation is expected at 3.1% year over year, with core CPI staying steady at 3%. We'll zoom in a little bit on the components. Goods inflation is expected to keep accelerating due to tariffs, which is something the Fed appears willing to look through, given the potential for a reversal starting in early 2026. Finally, pay particular attention to rent, which the Fed views as a natural source of disinflation over time, as rents tend to follow the pace of new house prices with a short lag. And that's all for this edition of Macro Monday. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone here has a great week. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you've been enjoying these videos, and I'll see you right back here next week for another Macro Monday.